NORTHCOM. Headquartered in Colorado Springs, NORTHCOM's area of responsibility is North America, including the continental United States, Alaska, Canada, and Mexico, and it also covers surrounding approaches like air and maritime routes that could be used to reach the homeland. Its primary mission is homeland defense. It is responsible for protecting the U.S. from any potential attack and for providing military support to civilian authorities in the event of a major domestic crisis, such as a catastrophic natural disaster. It is co-located with and shares a commander with NORAD, the binational U.S.-Canada command, responsible for aerospace warning, aerospace control, and maritime warning for North America. SOUTHCOM. Headquartered in Doral, Florida, SOUTHCOM's area of responsibility covers Central and South America and much of the Caribbean, generally excluding U.S. Commonwealths, territories, and possessions. Its primary mission is not large-scale warfighting, but rather security cooperation, partnership building, and countering transnational threats. SOUTHCOM works with partner militaries and security forces to counter drug trafficking and other illicit networks, supports disaster response and humanitarian assistance after hurricanes and earthquakes, and helps safeguard the Panama Canal as a strategic choke point for global trade and naval movement. EUCOM. Headquartered in Stuttgart, Germany, EUCOM's area of responsibility covers all of Europe, as well as Russia and Turkey. Its primary mission is to deter Russian aggression and to uphold the U.S. commitment to the NATO alliance. The commander of EUCOM simultaneously serves as the Supreme Allied Commander Europe, the top military commander of NATO. EUCOM is the senior U.S. military headquarters for American forces operating in Europe, and it coordinates joint planning, posture, and exercises with allies to make sure U.S. forces can deploy quickly if a crisis escalates. AFRICOM. Also headquartered in Stuttgart, Germany, AFRICOM's area of responsibility covers the entire continent of Africa, with the exception of Egypt. Its mission is to build the defense capabilities of partner nations and to counter transnational threats emanating from the continent. AFRICOM's work is primarily focused on security cooperation and training with African partners, helping build logistics, intelligence, and special operations capacity, and supporting counterterrorism efforts against groups like Al-Shabaab and ISIS affiliates, often alongside diplomatic and development efforts. CENTCOM. Headquartered in Tampa, Florida, CENTCOM's area of responsibility is the Middle East and Central Asia, a region stretching from Egypt to Pakistan. For decades, CENTCOM has been the United States' primary warfighting command, responsible for all U.S. military operations in Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, and across the region. Its mission is to promote regional stability, deter Iranian aggression, and conduct counter-terrorism operations. INDOPACOM. Headquartered in Honolulu, Hawaii, INDOPACOM is the oldest and largest of the geographic commands. Its massive area of responsibility covers more than half the globe, from the west coast of the United States to the western border of India. Because the distances are so massive, INDOPACOM is as much a logistics and basing challenge as it is a military one. Fuel, ships, airfields, and supply lines decide what's even possible. Its primary mission is to preserve a free and open Indo-Pacific by operating with key allies like Japan, South Korea, and Australia, strengthening regional partnerships, and maintaining credible deterrence against major threats, especially China and North Korea, across air, sea, cyber, and space. STRATCOM. Headquartered at Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska, STRATCOM has one of the most important missions in the entire military: strategic deterrence. It is responsible for strategic deterrence and for providing global strategic options, including nuclear operations tied to the nuclear triad of ICBMs, ballistic missile submarines, and strategic bombers. Its job is to keep deterrence credible at all times, which means maintaining forces and command and control systems that can respond at a moment's notice, while also supporting strategic planning that convinces adversaries the cost of a strategic attack would be unacceptable. SOCOM. Headquartered in Tampa, Florida, SOCOM is the parent command for all of the U.S. military's elite Special Operations Forces. It is responsible for organizing, training, and equipping all SOF units from every branch, including the Navy SEALs, Army Green Berets, and Delta Force, and deploying them for the nation's most sensitive and high-stakes missions, from counterterrorism to unconventional warfare. TRANSCOM. Headquartered at Scott Air Force Base, Illinois, TRANSCOM is the massive logistical command that provides global mobility for the entire Department of Defense. It is responsible for a vast network of military and commercial aircraft, ships, and ground transportation. When the Army needs to move heavy equipment to Europe, or when disaster relief needs to move fast, TRANSCOM coordinates the aircraft, sea lift, ground movement, and scheduling that make global deployment possible, including working with commercial carriers to scale up quickly. CYBERCOM. Headquartered at Fort Meade, Maryland, and co-located with the NSA, CYBERCOM is the military's frontline force for digital warfare. Its mission is to direct, synchronize, and coordinate cyberspace operations. And unlike most domains, cyber is happening constantly in peacetime too, so CYBERCOM is always balancing daily defense of DoD networks with preparing offensive options for a crisis. Offensively, this can mean disrupting or degrading enemy networks and command systems during a conflict. Defensively, it means hunting threats, hardening systems, and helping protect the Department of Defense's global networks, so forces can communicate, navigate, and operate without being blinded or disrupted. SPACECOM. Currently headquartered at Peterson Space Force Base in Colorado Springs, SPACECOM's mission is to conduct operations in, from, and to space, with an announced relocation of the headquarters to Redstone Arsenal, Huntsville, Alabama. Its area of responsibility begins at roughly 100 kilometers above the Earth's surface, but its real focus is what happens across orbital regimes, where satellites enable everything from precision navigation to global communications and early warning. It is responsible for providing space-based capabilities to the Joint Force, such as satellite communication, GPS navigation, and missile warning. It is also responsible for protecting U.S. and allied satellites from hostile attack and ensuring freedom of action in the space domain. Thanks for watching. Which combatant command plays the biggest role in today's global conflicts in your opinion? Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.